HELOCs, liens, judgments, and solar agreements are some of the most overlooked issues in a divorce home sale, and any one of them can delay or derail a closing if they aren't identified early. Most people go into a divorce assuming the house's value is straightforward. Then the title report comes back and suddenly there are encumbrances that nobody planned for. Here are 4 we're seeing most often right now in the Phoenix-Scottsdale metro area. First, HELOCs. A home equity line of credit has to be paid off and closed before or at the sale. Both parties may have drawn on it. There's often disagreement about who's responsible, and it directly reduces net proceeds, sometimes significantly. Second are liens. Contractor liens, HOA liens, tax liens. These attach to the property, not the person. Even if one spouse was responsible for an unpaid bill, the lien follows the home and has to be resolved before title can transfer. Third are judgments. If either spouse has a civil judgment against them, it may have automatically attached to the property, depending on how title is held. These don't always show up in obvious places, which is why a thorough title search early in the process matters. The fourth is solar. This one surprises people the most, and there are 2 scenarios to understand. If the system is leased, and many are here in Arizona, the lease runs with the property. A buyer has to agree to assume it, or it has to be bought out at closing. But here's what catches people off guard even more. If the solar system is owned but financed, the buyer may need to assume that loan. And many solar companies today are now requiring the loan to be paid off in full before the sale can close. Either way, in a divorce, who is responsible for that payoff becomes a separate negotiation that nobody budgeted for, and it has to be resolved before closing. If you're a homeowner, don't wait for the title report to surface these issues. The earlier they're identified, the more options you have. If you're an attorney, knowing what's on title before mediation gives you a much more accurate picture of net proceeds and prevents agreements from being built on numbers that don't hold up. These issues are solvable, but they need to be on the table early. If your case involves any of these issues, let's talk. Feel free to book a no-cost consultation with me.